Hi, I'm Nicole, one of SparkPeople's fitness experts. Today I'm going to lead you through another short desk workout that you can do at your office or at home right in front of your computer. All you'll need for this workout is a resistance band, a sturdy chair, hopefully one that does not have wheels or casters, and your own body weight. So you probably should have done a short warm-up before you start this, anything for a couple minutes to get that heart rate up and the muscles warm. When you're ready to come back and start the video, we're ready to go. So you're going to start with your resistance band. We're going to begin with a chest exercise using this band. So I want you to fold it in half so that those handles at one end are together. And then you're going to grip it on each end right in front of you. Arms are at about the chest level. From here, we're just thinking about pulling that band outward and bringing it closer towards the chest. You're going to exhale as you pull it out and towards you. Inhale as you release it back in. The important thing with resistance bands is that you're always staying in control of that resistance as you're pulling against it, but especially as you're releasing it back in. Hands should be down, facing the floor. Arms and hands right there at chest level, near the shoulders the whole time. Shoulders should be down and back. Think about sitting up nice and tall through this one. You should feel this in the upper part of the chest. Keep breathing steady, pulling those abs in tight. Think about reaching those hands out to the sides as far as you can, pulling against that resistance. We have 4 more here. This is 4. Exhale as you pull. Here's 3. 2 more. Last one, big exhale as you pull those hands apart and slowly bring it back in. Now we're going to move into the upper back. Taking the handles in each hand, you're going to step your feet onto that resistance band on the floor. That's your fixed point of resistance. The further you space those feet out towards the handles, you're adding resistance. Closer you place them to the center, you're releasing that resistance, so you can adjust it at any point. So place those feet wherever you want to start. Engage those abs, leaning forward, palms are facing back behind you. You're going to exhale, pull those handles up into the chest and shoulders. Inhale, release it down. Now, depending on how tight your resistance band is, you might feel this a little or a lot. You can always adjust it by separating those feet out a little further, adding in resistance, or stepping them in closer together to decrease it. Making sure those abs are pulled in tight. We're exhaling every time we pull up, inhaling as you release it down. Think about those elbows reaching up for the ceiling, shoulder blades coming together, keeping that head and neck looking down at the floor, right there in line with the spine the whole time. 4 more here. Exhale as you pull. Inhale, release. Stay in control of that resistance. Here's 2. Last one all the way up. Exhale. Inhale, release it down. Go ahead and roll that spine back up to a seated position. I'm going to place the feet close to the center of the band this time, still holding on to each handle. Sit it up nice and tall for lateral raises. For this one, really make sure that the wrist stays right there in line with the forearm the whole time. We're going to exhale, lift those arms up to about parallel to the floor. Inhale, release it down. This one's working the shoulders. Keeping those elbows soft, making sure that joint is not locked. And remember, you can always adjust your resistance at any point. Close to the center where my feet are now, this is the easiest level of resistance. Taking those feet out is going to increase your resistance. Hands should be coming forward slightly in front of the body. Notice my hands aren't all the way out to the sides. That's keeping the arms right there in line with the shoulder blades. And again, remember to be in control of that resistance, especially as it's lowering down. Don't let that band pull your arms down for you. You want to stay in control there. 4 more. Exhale as you lift. Inhale, release it down. Those abs should be in tight. Shoulders down and back. This is 2. 1 more time, all the way up, and slowly take it down. We're going to move into bicep curls now. Again, place your feet where you want your resistance to be. Tucking those elbows into your sides. You're going to exhale, curling the hands into the shoulders. Inhale, release it down. Abs should be in tight. Try not to slouch in your chair or lean back into the back of it. Sit it up tall, engaging those abs. Good posture. Again, pay attention to the position of your wrists on this one. Should stay right there in line with the arm, not curling towards you. Tucking those elbows into your sides will help you stay with proper form. Notice the elbows aren't out. Keep breathing steady. Adjust your resistance at any point if you need to. We have 4 more to go. This is 3. Keep that breath going. One more time all the way up with control. And slowly release it back down. Moving into triceps now. This one might feel a little awkward, but it's definitely going to work. We're going to place the feet down on that band all the way down at the opposite handle. Taking the other handle, you're just going to bring it behind you overhead. Doesn't matter where that band lies, it's going to be fine. Grabbing that handle with both hands, pointing the elbows forward, release it back. You're going to exhale, extend it up. Inhale, release it down. Notice the elbows point forward, not out to the sides. And you're thinking about keeping those arms as close as you can to the sides of your head, right there next to your ears. You should feel this in the triceps, right there on the back of the upper arm. And again, if you need to increase intensity, stepping those feet further away from that end that they're on, closer to the handle that you're holding, that will increase it. Abs in tight, make sure you're not arching your back here. Always exhaling as you lift. 3 more here. Keep those elbows forward. 1 more time. And slowly release it down. We're done with the upper body segment of this. So we're just going to do some quick upper body stretches before we move on to core and lower body. Take those shoulders down and back. We're going to start by bringing that left arm across the chest, relaxing the shoulder down. You should feel that stretch right there in the shoulder. Make sure you're breathing steady. And switch it over to the opposite arm, relaxing the shoulder down, always grabbing the arm below that elbow joint. Moving into a tricep stretch, back over onto that left side, taking that elbow up overhead, supporting it with your opposite hand, trying to reach your hand back onto the center of your spine. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Let's switch this one over to the other side. Nice steady breath. And relax it down. Moving into an upper back stretch. Inhale, reach those hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, pulling the elbows down and back as those shoulder blades slide together at the center of your back. You should feel the stretch right there. And let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, slide those shoulder blades together at your spine. Elbows bend, coming down and back. We'll do one more stretch for the upper body for that chest. Lacing those fingers back behind you. Open up that chest. Shoulders come back. Extending those arms up a little bit. And go ahead and release it down. All right, we're going to move into our core section. We have an ab exercise and one for the lower back. Our first one will not use the resistance band, just your chair. So scoot up to the edge a little bit. Hold those abs in tight, lean back slightly to feel those abdominals engage and hold that contraction. We're going to be doing single knee lifts. So you're going to exhale, bringing the knee into the chest, inhale, release it down, and then switch sides. So that's 1 repetition. Really think about your abs doing the work here. This is a really slow and controlled movement. You might feel it a little bit in the hip, which is fine. That's part of those core muscles. But you really want to focus on the abs. Pulling the abs in nice and tight, like you're bringing your belly button down in towards your spine. That's the feeling you want to feel throughout this exercise. Leaning back slightly the whole time. Make sure you're breathing steady. Always exhaling as that knee comes in. Inhaling as you release it down. Now you should be feeling this in the abs, but because we're working on single legs rather than both legs, you begin to feel it a little bit in the obliques as well, on the side of the leg that's lifting up. Try to keep those shoulders down and back. Abs are still engaged. Nice steady breath. Grip those hands around the sides of your chair if that'll help you with your form a little bit. 3 more sets. This is 2. Try to keep it slow and controlled even as we're finishing up. Last one. And go ahead and release it down. Moving over to work the lower back, you'll need that resistance band once again. Remember, you can place your feet out to the sides to increase resistance or towards the center to decrease it. Holding your handles down at the sides, abs in tight the whole time. You're just going to bend all the way over, resting that upper body down on the front of your thighs. From here, hinging from the waist, all you're going to do is exhale up to a seated position and slowly inhale to release it back down. Think about the lower back muscles working here. Those are part of that core. We just worked the abs. Every time you work the abs, you want to do something for the lower back. It's often neglected. Your head and neck should stay right here in line with the spine the whole time as you bend and as you come up. Just let it extend right up from that spine. So you're looking down towards the floor as you bend, straight forward as you sit it up. Always exhaling as you move upward. Remember, you can adjust that resistance at any point if you need to make it easier or harder. And still think about engaging those abdominal muscles the whole time. That's going to help protect your lower back as you're bending over, which sometimes puts it into a vulnerable position. 3 more. Exhale all the way up, slowly and controlled. This is 2. One more time, big exhale up. And just go ahead and leave it up here. Let's stretch out that core really quick. Stretch out those abdominals by kicking those legs forward, reaching the hands up towards the ceiling. Think about your hands and feet reaching in opposite directions. Relax that down. One more time. Inhale, reach hands and feet opposite ways. Exhale, relax. Bend those knees, placing the feet flat on the floor. Little twists to stretch out those obliques. Placing the left hand over on the right knee, twisting it to the right. Breathing steady, letting that spine elongate upward. And go ahead and switch it over to that opposite side. Hand on your knee, shoulders down and back, and twist. And release it back. We're done with our core section. We're going to finish up with some lower body work. So a lot of this will be on single legs. I'm going to start working the right leg. You're going to place that handle onto your shoe, plastic side down, until it's on there nice and tight. If you scoot your foot along the floor, you can tighten it there usually a little bit better. Now, holding onto that left handle, we're placing our foot down for resistance, sitting up nice and tall, shoulders down and back, abs in tight. We're going to start with a little hip flexor move. So you're exhaling, lifting that knee up. From here, keeping the thigh up, you're going to kick it forward and bend it back in. So just a little leg extension here. You should feel this across the front of the thigh. Toes point up towards the ceiling, trying to keep that tension on the band the whole time. Notice how the back of the thigh is up away from the seat. Exhaling as you kick that leg forward. Inhaling as you release. Stay in control of your resistance. Remember, you can always adjust it at any point. Stepping that left foot closer to the right will increase it. 3 more here. Abs in tight. Here's 2. Last one. And slowly release that leg in and down. From here, we'll move into an inner thigh exercise, still in the same position. You might want to step the left leg a little bit closer here to increase your resistance. From here, we're just going to extend that leg outward, toes up towards the ceiling. Then it's a really small movement across the body. Think about that heel reaching away and up towards the ceiling. You should feel the inner thigh working here. Again, it's a very small movement. You don't need to take that leg all the way over to the side to feel this. Engage those abs, sit it up nice and tall. Remember to adjust your resistance if you need to, stepping that foot closer or further away. Exhaling as that leg pulls across the midline of the body. A few more like this. This is 4. 3. Here's 2. Keep breathing steady. One more time all the way over. And slowly release it down. Still working on the right leg. We're going to move into the outer thigh now. So it's that same kind of movement we just did, just in the opposite direction. Toes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, pulling the leg out. Inhale, releasing it in. Again, notice it's a very small movement. You don't need to take that leg all the way out to the side to feel this. In fact, you probably want enough resistance that you can't make a very large range of motion here. You want to feel those legs working. Important thing when working the inner and outer thigh, toes always point forward. In this case, it's upward. If that toe turns out or in, then you're going to focus on the top of the thigh. We've already worked that, so we're going to try to keep it on the outer thigh, toes up. 3 more. Exhale across, inhale, bring it in. Here's 2. Last one, and slowly release it down. We just have to repeat that sequence on the opposite leg. So taking that handle off, switching it over to the left foot, plastic side down. Make sure that band's on there nice and tight. Holding on to the opposite handle, placing your right foot down on that band for resistance. We'll start with the leg extensions. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Lifting that knee up, getting the thigh up. Exhale, kick it forward. Inhale, bend it back. Simple leg extension, keeping the leg up the whole time. You should feel near the hip working by keeping that knee up, and you should feel it working through the whole front of the thigh as you kick the foot upward. Keep those shoulders down and back. Exhale as you extend. Inhale as it bends in. Try to stay in control of your resistance here. Nice slow controlled movement. Engage those abs. 3 more. This is 2. Last one. Bend it in and release the leg down. Moving into the inner thigh exercise once again. Adjust your resistance if you need to. Extend that leg forward, toe up to the ceiling. Small movement across the body. Exhale as you bring that heel towards that opposite wall. Even think about reaching it up towards the ceiling. Inhale as you bring it back. Should feel that inner thigh working pretty hard here. Slow, steady movement. Probably still feeling the quad on the top of the thigh working by lifting that leg up. Remember, you can adjust your resistance anytime. 4 more. Exhale, sweep it across. This is 3. 2. One more time. And release it down. Moving into that outer thigh really quick before we finish up on the side. Take that leg forward one more time, moving it outward. Exhale out to the side. Inhale, bring it in. Remember, toes up towards the ceiling the whole time. You want enough resistance to feel this exercise as your leg's all the way out and as it's coming back in. So if your band is not tight the whole time, you might need to step this foot a little bit closer to it. Think about your posture here. Shoulders are down and back. Abs in nice and tight. Breath steady. Exhale out to that side. Only a few more here. This is 4. Try to finish out this set. Here's 2. One more time. And slowly bring it in, releasing that leg down. One more quick strengthening exercise for the calves before we finish up with stretches. Another single leg one. We're going to switch back over to that right side. Holding onto the handles with both sides. You want to make sure that band is nice and tight. If it's not, the band can fly up off of your foot. So, toes up towards the ceiling. We're going to exhale, just pointing the toe forward. Inhale, releasing it back, feeling that calf work against your resistance. By pulling that band closer to you and it's tighter, you're adding resistance. By releasing it closer to your foot, you're decreasing your resistance. Make sure you're sitting up tall, abs in, shoulders down and back, breathing steady throughout this movement. You want to keep that band fairly tight so it stays put right there on your shoe. 5 more. There's 4. Keep breathing. 3, 2, one more time. And release it back, releasing that leg down. Switching it over to the opposite side. Last exercise before we stretch it out. Extend that leg forward, toe up to the ceiling. Exhale, point the toe forward. Inhale, release it back. Make sure your knee is not locked out in this position. You want to keep a slight bend in it the whole time. Shoulders down. Adjust your resistance however you need to. Releasing it forward takes it down. Pulling it tighter to you increases it. 5 more. Here's 4. Keep breathing. Exhale as you point it forward. Last one. And go ahead and release it back. You can take your band down to the side. We're finished with that. Let's go ahead and stretch out these legs really quick. Sit it up nice and tall. We're going to inhale, reach it up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bending from the waist, folding over, reaching your hands down towards your feet or the floor. Just relax down here in this position. And let's slowly roll it up. Let's do that one more time, a little deeper stretch, kicking those legs out forward. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, bend it over, reaching for the toes this time. Let that head and neck relax down right there in line with the spine. Should feel this across the back of the legs. And slowly roll that spine back up. Bringing your feet back in at bending at the knees. From here, I'm going to take my left hand, reaching it down towards the right foot. Extend your right arm up overhead and twist out to that right side. Should feel this one across the torso, in your obliques. And just rotating it back down, the right hand's going to reach for the opposite toe. Left hand extends up into the air for a twist. And slowly release it back down before you roll that spine back up to a seated position. Shoulders down and back. I'm going to take the right ankle, crossing it over at the knee. Make sure you're pushing that other knee outward. You can do a couple quick ankle circles here, both directions. And switch sides. Now leave that ankle there in place, pushing the knee outward, just leaning forward slightly. You should feel this in the inner thighs, but also on the outer thigh near the glute. And go ahead and bring it back, switch sides, crossing that left ankle over at the knee, pushing the knee outward, small circles with the ankle. And switch directions. Leave that ankle in place, push the knee outward, leaning forward just slightly, bringing that chest out towards your legs, shoulders down and back, and slowly release it back up. We're finished with our chair workout. For more fitness and exercise ideas, visit SparkPeople.com.